How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Biden administration proposal aims to reduce deficit by $74 million in 2024 via energy crypto tax on miners. The Biden administration has proposed a new tax on crypto miners as seen in the 2024 budget plan published today, March 9th. This plan suggests imposing a digital asset mining energy exercise tax in one line of its tables. The addition is projected to decrease the country's deficit by $74 million in 2024, $1.38 billion in 2028, and $3.5 billion in 2023. The White House specifically suggests an exercise tax of 30% on the energy costs involved in cryptocurrency mining. The paper adds that the plan should be phased over 3 years, starting at 10% in the first year, 20% in the second, and 3rd in the following year. Gave a bunch of FUD on the detrimental impact of the environment that crypto mining has, and also said that mining can raise electricity prices and create uncertainty around local energy utilities. They must not be aware of how much energy the banking system uses as opposed to mining. Or how, 10% of the world's energy is used by air conditioning, but Bitcoin, less than 1%. Though unrelated to energy use, the budget will also target wash trading, and we'll get right onto that article. Biden wants to double capital gains taxes and clamp down on wash sales. The Biden administration reportedly wants to apply a wash sale rule in crypto, which would end the strategy which a trader sells and then immediately buys digital assets for tax purposes. This is done at the end of the year. Usually you'll sell just before the last day of December, then you'll buy back on January. That's why December you get a big crash and January you'll get a big spike. U.S. President Joe Biden's upcoming budget proposal has a new surprises for crypto traders and investors, including a proposed doubling of capital gains for certain investors and a crackdown on wash sales. The Biden administration is set to release its fiscal 2024 budget plan on March 9th, which is reportedly aimed at reducing the deficit by almost $3 trillion over the next decade. This also includes a crypto tax treatment with the aim of raising $24 billion. So they really want to tax the hell out of the mining crypto industry. Such a strategy is not permitted when stocks and bonds are involved under current wash sale rules. However, crypto is currently not under the same rules as digital assets have not been classified as securities. So, Gary said he doesn't have control over Bitcoin and that everything besides Bitcoin is a security, so this rule would be useless for people that only buy Bitcoin. Kind of a pointless law then. Danny Taller on crypto tax software firm Coinly commented that this is an inevitable consideration for the US, which if implemented will see it on par with other jurisdictions such as Canada and Australia. The Biden administration also proposes to nearly double capital gains taxes for investors making at least $1 million to pay 39.6% on long-term investments, up from the current 20% rate. It also plans to raise income levies on corporations and wealthy Americans, according to Bloomberg. So they really want to chase crypto and other businesses out of the country. Investors may have avoided FTX as the SEC addressed Bitcoin ETFs, says BitGo CEO. The collapse of crypto exchange FTX and other bearish events in the crypto space were at the center of discussions among lawmakers and witnesses at the inaugural hearing of the United States House Committee. Addressing lawmakers, BitGo co-founder and CEO Mike Belshey criticized the SEC for enforcement actions against crypto firms trying to do it right, i.e. communicating with regulators and pursuing a path to operate in the country. He cited BitGo's own experience going through the process of approaching the SEC back in 2018, seeking a regulatory path forward on the question of how they should custody assets, something they're going after everyone for not doing properly right now, only to wait more than 4 years for a definitive answer by regulation through enforcement. According to Belshi, the SEC's reluctance to address a basic regulatory issue like the issuance of a Bitcoin exchange traded fund could have seemingly opened the door for bad actors like Sam Bankman-Fried to operate as he did. So he's saying, had you allowed an ETF, you may not have seen this happen, as people would have been able to go into an ETF and they may not have been drawn close to FTX. So he wouldn't even had the ability to get quite as much funding as he would if people could go through more traditional means. You do have to wonder if we couldn't have avoided the mass amounts of money that flowed into FTX if the basic principle of a Bitcoin ETF has been provided and approved by the SEC, said Belsh. There have been 25 plus valid applications, some from Invesco and other reputable firms that have done ETFs for many years in the past. Much of the discussion among lawmakers and industry experts at the hearing centered around which federal agencies could regulate certain crypto assets should Congress pass related legislation. This report summarized President Biden's political plan to lawfully abuse the administrative state to push American crypto firms and other United States customers into offshore, unregulated, opaque, and unsafe markets. So exactly what they're supposed to protect everyone from. They're going to pretty much force you into, said Representative Tom Emmer, citing the January 27th report from the White House on mitigating the risks of association with crypto. This administration is weaponizing the banking sector to debank legal crypto activity here in the U.S., using scare tactics to run an entire industry out of the country. Representative Brad Sherman, a well-known critic of the space, referred to crypto as a scourge on the economic system, and Lee Rainers, the policy director of the Duke Financial Economics Center, claimed that though FTX was one bad apple, the entire industry is rotten. He also went on to say that crypto and the unique nature of crypto was what fueled FTX's rise, and it's what made FTX collapse in the blink of an eye. Obviously, he doesn't know that if he would have just done his job and helped actually regulate the space, it could have prevented anything like FTX from happening. Planet Hollywood and Animoca Brands to launch NFT Club in LA. Animoca Brands announces plans for Thursday for a new members-only club in Los Angeles. This club will be called Club 3, and it's being launched in collaboration with the Planet Hollywood Group through its existing joint venture, Meta Hollywood. The new NFT Club in LA claims to repeat this success and bridge the gap between the real world and virtual world membership. I think the success is referring to Bored Ape Yacht Club. Hopefully they have their copyrights unlike Bored Ape Yacht Club. At the center of the Club 3 venture is Club ID, a new identity, membership, and commerce platform powering Meta Hollywood's communities that will launch in beta in 2023. Perks will include access to amenities based on membership type, including a closed community chat. Minting the Club 3 NFT will give collectors their membership in the group over 4 tiers of membership: founding, social, global, and corporate memberships. The one-time membership fees for social membership and a founding membership are $2,500 and $7,500 respectively. And like a DAO, the group says that Club 3 will integrate Web3 mechanics, including community voting on seasonal menus, perks, and promotions. The first Club 3 venture will open on the iconic Sunset Boulevard later this year. They didn't say exactly where, but it'll consist of restaurants, bars, a cocktail lounge, meeting rooms, and a karaoke room, or several karaoke rooms, for in-person and virtual events. If Club 3 is successful, Meta Hollywood intends to expand to New York, Miami, Tokyo, London, Paris, and Hong Kong. So onto the charts. So we went from a descending channel to more of a falling wedge. Doesn't really have any touch points anytime soon. We'd probably have to really draw this out to get them to touch, but it's likely we'd break through before they do end up touching. And now that we have tomorrow's candle, I can kind of solidify it a little more. You wouldn't want to go all the way down there, because that would be terrible. But we are in a support area that we have had back here, and back here, and also back here when we first kind of fell into this range, like previously before we broke this pocket that we were hoping to get into. So over on the daily, if we take a look at how our indicators are looking, our momentum's still falling. Our VWAP kind of went flat. It was trying to head up, and our money flow is still coming down pretty aggressively at this point. RSI is starting to finally lose its hold, and Stochastic's just dead. So not looking too good on the daily. We did break through both of our supports that we were talking about possibly holding the last few days, and fell below our pattern. That's why we have created a new pattern, because it's time to reorganize. So over on the 4-hour, if we look, this volume profile is pretty much done for at this point. If we zoom out, we'll get the bigger one. So I don't know why our volume profile is not showing up here. Get rid of this one, but our volume profile, you can see we do have a good amount right here that we could find some support here. If we do not find support in this area, it would be likely that we could find support in this really big area, but it does have quite a bit of selling pressure, as it's like the biggest bar we have on this whole volume profile here. So be careful of a lot of selling pressure if we don't manage to hold in that area. I don't think we would get to that area, but that is below our CME gap, and we'll get to the CME gap soon. So now we can circle back to the 4-hour. Our momentum wave got a red dot after having a green dot, so we invalidated that double green dot and we're heading down. Momentum rejected twice now, and it's trying to head up for another attempt, but it's not looking too good with this money flow coming down. Stochastic's coming down, RSI is crashing, so we're not really looking too good or strong right now. If we look over at the 2-hour to see how our medium term is, our momentum wave is making lower lows with price, so we've eliminated any divergences that we've had. Our money flow is still coming out. Our VWAP looks like it kind of crossed over, but it's probably going to just roll back over and fail to make that cross. Our stochastic does want to make a little bit of run up, but if money flow's not coming in on the 1-hour, then I would highly doubt. Yeah, money flow's coming down pretty aggressively on the 1-hour. We've invalidated every bullish divergence we had by just sliding down. We have a green dot and our momentum wave is curling. It's pretty oversold at this point, so we may get a little bit of a relief, try and touch like this resistance or this resistance, and then we may reject back down and come crashing again. Or we could hit the top of our wedge, which this wedge is a bullish pattern. If we broke out around here, that would take us to around that other range that we broke away from. That would be a good area to break into, and if we can hold and break out of that bullishly, then that would be a positive sign for some continued upwards momentum. However, we would be back into this rising channel as well, so it'd be kind of a mixed bag. Over on graph, if we look at the daily, we've fallen down pretty much right at to the point that we called out for. Our rising channel got invalidated, like I warned about. Not looking, don't really see any patterns right now, not looking too strong. We could make a bounce here if Bitcoin manages to recover, but remember, everything's going to rely on Bitcoin's strength. Our momentum wave is falling unless you're XRP, that's been its own lane. Stochastic is kind of just dead right now after breaking from a divergence. RSI is finally starting to come crashing too, so we're starting to see some of that neutralness fall flat. Money flow's coming out pretty aggressively, and our VWAP is struggling to even attempt a bullish breakup. Over on the 4-hour, we did get a little bit of a bullish breakup. We tried to hold, but price continued to fall, and we've kind of fallen back under. We've gone flat, so we could attempt another break and kind of just flatten out here and then possibly see a bigger dump if Bitcoin dumps. We are getting a red dot on momentum, so we could start to curl back down here. And money flow's coming out, so not looking the strongest here. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a slight bullish divergence here, so that is a little hopium for some kind of a retest. Maybe up in this 12.8 range, so not too exciting. I'd say maybe 13.5 at most. Money flow is coming down, stochastic's starting to curl though, and RSI is kind of flat, so right around that neutral zone. So we're trying to hold bullish here on the 2 hour, but our money flow is still coming out. So unless the 1 hour, yeah, money flow is attempting to curl up. So if this money flow can start stair-stepping up or start an aggressive move up, that would be a good sign. We are getting a green dot, but like I've said, those haven't really played out too much because we're overall in a bearish trend. When you're in a bearish trend, green dots don't play out as strongly. Our RSI is trying to hold this neutral zone here on the 1 hour too, stochastic's heading up. So the 1 hour might have some signs of a recovery. We do have slight bullish divergence here on our momentum wave, as we have lower lows on price and higher highs on momentum. So we may see that a little bit of that snap, like I said. Over on XRP, we just dumped with a red X. This is a bearish engulfing candle. That is a really bearish sign. That's when you get a big red candle that is bigger or as big as the previous green candle. Normally that's a top signal or a tweezer tops. Money flow is starting to break out. I've been warning that the money flow has been kind of sketchy and this may not sustain. So we've fallen back down after this news kind of settled. Momentum's starting to curl back down and we're getting a red dot on our momentum wave. Over on the 4 hour, our money flow is crossing bearish. Stochastic's almost oversold right now. And our RSI is trying to curl, but without having any strength there, it's likely to start to fall. VWAP is coming down pretty strongly as well. So we fell back into this bullish pattern, but it's likely we could fall back bearishly out of it. So I'd be cautious. Over on the 2 hour, we have a bearish divergence, RSI is heading down pretty aggressively and our stochastic's beat down. Momentum wave's pretty oversold, and our VWAP is bearish. It's trying to head up, but with that money flow coming out, I don't really have much faith in the VWAP right now. 1 hour, our money flow is still in the green somehow, but it looks like it's about to break. Once that breaks, that'll be pretty much confirmation. If you haven't heard already, I look for the 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour all to be in the same, and then you typically get a pretty good move after that. Momentum wave is trying to print green dots, but I'd be wary. VWAP is kind of rolling over, stochastic's starting to roll over, and our RSI is heading down. So that green dot may get invalidated soon, not looking the strongest. Over on algo, we're kind of just following this channel still. It's a little skinny, we could kind of open it up, kind of touch those wicks too now. Money flow's coming out. VWAP's tried to cross twice. This is going to be its second attempt. Looks like it might roll over and fail. Momentum wave's coming out and our RSI is heading down, so not looking the strongest. Over on the 4 hour, money flow is coming out. Stochastic's almost oversold, so RSI has like zero strength, and our RSI has broken that neutral zone and come down. Our momentum has a red dot and is heading downwards, so we don't really have any good signs on the 4 hour either. 2 hour, money flow's coming out pretty aggressively. Our momentum wave rolled over, got a red dot. It does look like it wants to kind of print a green dot sometime soon in the next few candles, but I wouldn't get too hopeful if Bitcoin doesn't start to gain momentum. Our stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross right around that neutral zone, so we're trying to get a push up. We'll have to see if that can hold. The 1 hour, we did manage to, the neutral zone's a little higher. We're kind of coming back down on the 1 hour, so the 2 hour might be in trouble and we might fall out of this channel as well. We have that similar green dot, but the money flow is starting to roll back over, and the VWAP is starting to roll back over as well. So it might not be the strongest move if we do have any bullishness. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.